Hey, Paul here. Today's rant is about staying safe online. Staying safe, staying secure, and some of it also covers keeping your PC or devices in a healthy state. This is from about 25 years of doing IT support, so I have learnt a few things over the years, but I really only work on Windows and Android devices. Never been a huge fan of Apple, so yeah, don't come to me for advice on that stuff. So the first thing would be doing backups. Now, a lot of you will have Microsoft 365 subscriptions, which will give you OneDrive space where you can sync your files up to, which is great. And they provide backups, or a Google account, which provides Google Drive access, where again you can save files too. But that doesn't cover everything. I also use the free backup software and back up my local files to it. I generally don't do the whole main drive of my devices. This is Windows devices, because usually you can restore the operating system easily. So it's really only documents, pictures and videos, etc. that I make. So I set up the backup software to back those areas up and encrypt it and save it to an external hard drive, which I then put in a fireproof safe. So hopefully that covers me for most things. But I have also found that sometimes I make mistakes, as we all do, and delete part or all of the contents of a file, in which case a backup may not work. So I also make copies of important files and append the date to the file name, just in case I have to go back. So that's the problem with things like syncing with Microsoft's OneDrive or Google Drive, is that if you accidentally delete some of the file, then you can't sort of retrieve that once it's saved or synced. So as a bit of added backup for important documents or folders even, I make a copy of it somewhere else on the hard drive. So the second thing to look at would be antivirus. Most or all current Windows 11 devices come with Microsoft Defender, which is quite good according to all the reviews and people who comment on it. So for individual use, that should be fine. You don't really have to pay for antivirus unless you want the additional security features that many of them offer. I mean, one thing to be wary of is that people who make viruses do test them against the major antivirus programs to work out ways to get around or fool the antivirus, so just be aware of that. But for general use, the one built into Windows 11 should be adequate, unless you're a small business running multiple devices. Then the downfall of Windows Defender is it doesn't have a central management portal, so that doesn't then alert you if one of your devices has a virus, if the end user doesn't pick up on the alert. So make sure you have current antivirus and then it regularly updates. Usually daily is good. The next thing to consider is multi-factor authentication, or MFA for short. So this is where you set up a second form of authentication in addition to your username and password for important accounts such as banking, etc., where you can use an authenticator app that provides you the one-time password, or they can send you an SMS with a one-time password. So wherever you can, make sure you set up MFA and never give out your MFA code to anyone, and be wary of banks or important websites that don't have MFA. It's a lot easier for hackers to hack into those. The next thing would be wary of scams. They come in all forms nowadays: email, SMS, telephone. If you get someone ringing you saying that they've found a virus on your computer, then that's a immediate red flag. Just hang up on them. But also the traditional means is via email, which will be an email from Microsoft or your bank or someone like that that's got a lot of urgency that you have to click this link to update your password or check your account or whatever. Be very, very suspicious of those sort of things. Usually if you get something like that, it's best to log into your bank or other accounts using your normal means if you have a saved favorite in your browser rather than clicking the link. And there's always, as I said, an urgency to these ones to try and get you to click without thinking. And now they even use SMS to try and get you to click on these bogus links. And sometimes they have a shortened version of the web address or URL, so you can't really see where you're clicking to. But even if you are getting a parcel from a delivery that the SMS claims to be from, again, check through your normal means, or if you know your tracking number, then go through the deliverer's website rather than clicking on any suspicious links. So that's the other thing is internet addresses. The main way people try and scam you is to set up a fake like Microsoft login web page or things like that, and the URL, which is the address at the top of your browser, will not be your normal Microsoft one. So always check the address that you're logging into, and if you're using Chrome or other browsers, click on the icon next to the address to make sure it's secure. It'll say link secure. So be aware of what addresses you're going to. Don't just aimlessly click on things or log in to bogus websites. That they are getting better at mimicking the original websites, and they're basically stealing your credentials. So yeah, be aware of that. The next thing to look at would be updates. Make sure you update all your devices, whether it be Windows or Android. With Windows 11 now, it's almost impossible to not update, but you can always check in the settings under Windows Update to see if there's any pending updates, and make sure you restart your device to install it, as well as your Android device. So when you are downloading things like apps or games, etc., which are apps, but yeah, again, have a look at the URL or web address you're downloading them from. Make sure it's a well-known source, and once you've downloaded it, you can right mouse click the download file and scan the file with your antivirus just to be sure. It's also a good idea to have system restore set up on your main drive if you have more than one, and that allows you to go back to a previous state before you installed the app. And when you're out and about, be very wary of public Wi-Fi. It is easy for a bad actor to sniff what you're doing or intercept your web traffic on a public Wi-Fi network, especially if it's not secure. But either way, I'd be very reluctant to even connect to a public Wi-Fi, like at Macca's or in the airport or things like that. So yeah, be careful what Wi-Fi you connect to. And as a final note, someone once told me that they had a dedicated credit card that they used for online purchases, that they only ever moved money across to it for specific purchases. So generally the balance was zero, which I think's a really good idea, so that if someone does steal your credit card details, then they can't really do much with it. And yes, I have had my credit card details stolen online once. It was from a local business actually, and yeah, it's not fun. I didn't have a lot of money in there anyway, but still, it's not a great feeling. So thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. If you have any questions, let me know below, and stay safe online.